Well, howdy all, grab yourselves a beer, it is time for some Path of Exile discussion. Now today there's been a new race announced. Now this is not the race that I'm running, which is something that I'm doing as a little bit of a fun project and something that may be of interest to people watching my stream, but that won't be known about outside of that. This is a race that's been organised by Zizaran, who is one of the biggest YouTube content creators for Path of Exile, and also one of the biggest streamers for the game on Twitch. And what he's doing is he's running a race to kill Atziri in hardcore. So if you play in this race, you'll be starting a new character, and your goal is to progress through the storyline. You need to get access to the map device, which means that you need to complete all the acts, including Act 10 Katava. And during your travels, you'll need to find a full set of sacrifice fragments. So sacrifice at dawn, sacrifice at dusk, sacrifice at noon, and sacrifice at midnight. Sacrifice at midnight being the rarest, and it only drops in monster level 60 and higher zones. So you're going to need to be doing Vale's side areas, especially from Act 9 and 10. And of course the Blood Aqueduct is one of the spots that comes to mind for this. What's happening with this though, where on my race, I've only got a few little joke prizes of Toucan t-shirts that I'm getting printed. Zizaran has managed to get together a pretty impressive prize. Zizaran's associated with Method, who fairly large esports organisation. They started as a World of Warcraft guild, and they are providing a considerable prize. So, first place is a VIP Exilecon ticket, so that is access to the Exilecon convention and the VIP dinner. But the big one is flights to New Zealand, accommodation, and there's entrance into a race event there as well. Second prize, second prize is the one that's provided by Method, is an Exilecon convention ticket and flights to New Zealand, as well as accommodation. Third to 10th, there'll be smaller prizes being provided by Method on top of that. So this is a race with some considerable prizes. Now, it's not going to be in a Legion style league. I think this makes a bit of sense because the Legion content drops a lot of fragments. The idea here is that you will be a bit fragment starved while you're running this, and players are going to have to use strategy to decide how aggressively they're going to chase after the fragments. Are they going to just try and do it when they get to Blood Aqueducts? Are they going to try and stockpile some earlier, and then when they kill Katava and get access to the map device, they're going to start running their sacrifice at dusk fragments, hoping to get themselves a sacrifice at midnight? So that's going to be a difficult decision to make. Lastly, this is a synchronous race. This is not an asynchronous race like my one where you can play whenever you want. For this one, you need to start at, if you're in my time zone, you need to start at July 28, 6 AM. If you want to be competitive in this race, you'll need to be ready to go immediately, and then you'll have, the race is open for 12 hours, but it's expected that all 10 positions, I think all 10 top 10 finishes will be finished within about 4 hours 45. Now, I'm nowhere near that pace, as people that have been watching me in the Toucan League will know. However, it may still be something that's a lot of fun to compete in anyway, even if you can't manage to get anywhere near killing Atziri in 4 hours 45. Even if at 4 hours and 45 minutes into the league, you're in Act 7. That's fine. Lastly, it is a hardcore solo self-found environment. So obviously this makes things different entirely. In the Toucan League, I've already had a death, a stupid death to Mavale, and there's plenty of other possibilities for you to die at all sorts of spots. And it poses the question, do you kill Aberoth in Act 6? Do you kill Rizlatha in Act 6? How much do you gear up before facing Doedre in Act 8? How careful do you take the bosses in Act 9? All sorts of things. Do you bother with Valenta for her skill point, because she's a pretty rippy boss as well? A whole lot of decisions to make that should make this a really exciting race event for people that go in it. I've not decided whether I can make it or not. I will play in this. Given two things, I will play in this. Firstly, I need to be free on that weekend, and secondly, I need to be finished with the Toucan race. because that is quite close to when the Lutukan race ends. It is possible, given that this event's happening, I may extend the finish time for the Lutukan Private League by 10 days. I might put that to a vote on my YouTube channel to see whether or not the two can coexist, because right now the Lutukan League ends pretty close to the actual Zizaran race. But anyways, this should be a lot of fun. I highly recommend giving it some thought to going in it, especially if you're better at racing than I am. In any case, got any comments or questions, fire away below, or alternately, head over to the Path of Exile website and the actual discussion thread that's happening there. Have a good one.